You are now tuning into Out the Box Radio Show. Entertainment at its best. Hot topics, games, and unforgettable interviews. Welcome to the show.
Woo! What up?
What's up? Out the box.
You back?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
How was your vacay?
Man, Jared Swain. Let me tell you something. First of all, thanks for holding the fort down.
You're very welcome. I do what I do when I can.
What was the name of the guest last week again?
The name of the guest was Anthony Barkley. You can follow him at A Barkley. That's AYEEBARKLEY. Yeah, that's how you spell it.
From
Mobtown Blitz.
Radio.
Yeah, Mobtown Blitz
Okay.
broadcast. They literally just started.
I remember
the
that.
sports broadcast on.
There's accidents going on outside.
Yeah, I heard that.
Traffic is ridiculous, by the way. Today.
Bruh, traffic is ridiculous. I pulled up at 7:20 maybe?
It was crazy outside.
Yeah, it was crazy outside.
Neighborhoods and through the hood and through dumpsters and stuff.
You went through the hoods and neighborhoods and all of that.
Yeah, I was passing through dumpsters. I made it, y'all, but I don't know where I was going.
I wasn't about that life. I was still taking the highway. That's the only ways I
traffic.
know. I don't be just driving around these Baltimore streets like that. Nope.
I definitely skipped
No, thank
traffic.
you.
That's crazy.
No, thank you.
So we are missing our good co-host girl here.
She's on vacation hangover. That's what she's doing.
I think she's still at work, unfortunately.
Stop lying. She on vacation
I know I'm
hangover.
trying to defend her as best as I can. Girl, you know you just trying to take extra time off.
You was on vacation hangover. Don't even flip.
I'm
don't
here.
even
Where
flip.
you at, JoJo? We had a great time. I wish I could. I want to go back right now. We was literally depressed our last day, like
What?
moping around.
Because y'all didn't want to leave.
We did not want to leave. We didn't have enough time.
All right, so in the time that y'all did have over there, what did y'all do? Spill everything.
Well,
because while I was here, I was like, all right, y'all, I expect y'all to send a few pictures, a few not safe for work things, because I know y'all. Yeah. But you didn't do it, so I was like, oh, okay.
No, if you see my Instagram, I'm late at posting pictures. I still have more to post.
Okay.
So I've been posting them in batches by what we do, like by day, by island. I'll post all the photos from that island, in one batch.
All right.
10 photos, if you will. I still got more to post, y'all. But tune out Kendall JP. Go to my Instagram, Kendall_JP. Look at all the photos. It's crazy. We had a good time. So on the ship, it's a brand new ship. It's their flagship, Carnival Horizon. Was it a nice ship? Yes, but it was actually the same layout as the ship I went on last year. But I liked the last ship better because there was people that were more friendly that worked there.
Okay,
These people had attitude problems.
Okay, so the people was on there. They ain't really.
Yes, Carnival, reevaluate your staffing because those people had terrible attitudes. Anyways, so no, we had a good time though. There's a lot of activities to do on ships. You got comedy shows, you got clubs, you got the daytime activities, you got the water parks, you got the high rope challenge, you got everything. The helicopter little rides around the ship. It's crazy.
Wait,
there's a helicopter.
Oh, I was about to say you don't have to explain that one.
It's a bike one where you pedal, and trust me, you get a leg workout. But you're on a little track around the entire ship up top.
Oh, okay. So it's like a pulley system, and you got to pedal to go
and
around.
You can race. Two people can go on at different tracks.
That's pretty fun.
Your legs will hurt, and it's like a roller coaster because you dip and dive a little bit, so you have to stop pedaling. And you're just like, oh my god,
and just let it roll
off into damn water.
Nah, I'm not about that.
You're over the water too, by the way. You're and there's no side thing, so you can just pop out real quick. Anyway.
Oh, so it made it seem like that you was in this little bubble or some or some sort.
But it was very much open. To
okay, so it's like a Ferris wheel type of cage, right?
Yeah, it's just very much open.
Okay.
Let's just say it's crazy. If you look on Carnival's website, they have a video demonstration of that ride. But off the ship was obviously the most fun because on the ship we were just drinking like crazy, just drinking the whole time from when we woke up to went to sleep.
Yep, that was me. That was me in Ocean City.
Right. That's how you have. If you
wake up, drink, go to sleep, drink.
If you're on vacation and if we paid for a drink package, we're gonna get the best of it. Trust me.
Right.
Let me tell you, all them girls. I went with 3 girls. 3 girls I traveled with. Them girls can eat. I ain't gonna lie. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not saying anything bad about y'all ladies, because I can eat too. But when not even Jonay necessarily, but my other 2 friends, they let loose. They even unbuckled the pants when they sat down.
Wait a minute, stop.
No, I'm serious. And I was like, girls,
you can't.
I'm talking about 4 or 5 course meals for every meal.
But I'm like, you paid for the food, so you gonna eat
but
it.
We looked terrible. When I say the table was probably this big for every time we had in the dining hall, we had the whole table full of food. Like we had a feast for only 4 people.
Bruh.
And we ate every last crumb on every plate. They ate every last crumb on every plate. And of course, you have drinks to top it off, so we're taking shots at the same time to wash it down. It was fun. But off the ship, we went to Mexico, Cozumel, Jamaica, Ocho Rios, and the Cayman Islands. I won't even talk about Cayman Islands. That was what I was looking forward to. That was the disappointment of my trip. We're not even getting to that. That was a boring ass vacation. Y'all should not even. I mean, not a vacation. Boring ass spot to stop at. Y'all shouldn't even stop at Cayman Islands. It's dumb.
And why is that?
Because you get less time in the Cayman Islands, and you have to travel. It takes you 30 minutes to travel from the boat on a ferry to get to the island, which is not normal. And then you have to take a bus to get to any beach that you want to go to, which also is more time. And you got to be back at the ship an hour before you leave.
So basically, most of that trip on the Cayman Islands was just traveling.
Yeah. I did get some good rum cake, though. I ain't gonna lie. That was good. Mexico, we had a lot of fun. We did ATV riding, which was my first time. And I told everybody I would never go ATV riding because it's dangerous as hell. People be breaking their necks and dying and shit.
Yeah, I understand that. But that's something I always wanted to try, ATV riding.
Oh, it is so fun.
Just give me a helmet.
Adrenaline,
Give me a helmet.
Yeah, they definitely give you a helmet. The adrenaline is like pumping. Like you just want to go fast because you feel like you need to, first of all, but you like want to go fast over all the rocks and the hills. It's crazy. We had a really good time doing that. We also went horseback riding on the beach through the water in Jamaica.
Oh, okay.
Now, Jonay knows somebody in Jamaica.
All
so
right.
she got us to hook up. So, dude, homeboy.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, for that too.
Yeah.
We had some good Jamaican stuff. But I'm
All right then.
in Jamaica, aside from that, we was traveling through this little private van. Now, he's a tour guide normally, but he gave us our own private tour that whole day. So just the 4 of us. We did that. We also went to, like, local cuisines, like local food, like mom and pop type restaurants, which were really good. Local drinks, all the things that they do, like festivities, if you will. We did their local stuff that you would not get if you, is that a word, festivities? It is today.
Festivities is a word.
It is for me. That was part of the festivities. And
Feeling festive in Jamaica?
Y'all would have seen that bag. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it was insane. But we had a really good, Jamaica was probably the best spot. Because we were there the longest time. We had the most stuff to do. It was amazing. I was really sad to leave, Jared. To come back to reality.
No, I feel you. That's how it is on every vacation. You go there and you are so warped into just having fun and letting yourself de-stress, letting your body and your spirit be cleansed, and then on the way back.
Come back to work.
Yeah, you gotta come back to work.
Like Jonay at work right now. She ain't getting no time. By the way, they try to get her at work. Jonay, they was trying to call you and email you, and you was checking up.
Oh yeah, I heard that they was trying to get you while you was on vacation.
She answered the phone.
This is why you need 2 phones, one for work,
right,
and
that
one for
goes off.
everything else. And I understand that we can't afford 2 phones right now. But
that one can go off. You get a cheap little bloop phone, a little flip thing.
Or just hit do not disturb and don't even check anything. Just tell everybody like, look, I'm on vacation. You don't call me. You don't text me. I'm on do not disturb. Don't even hit me on social media because I'm logging off. Just don't.
I'm on vacation. Don't disturb. My coworkers did call me and I had to answer one time. But that's because I locked something in my drawer that they need to get access to. Sorry, y'all. So they had to get a ticket request and to get into my desk and break into it. Anyways.
The last time I went on vacation, I had to send everybody on my staff an email saying, I'm going from this day to that day. This is not a normal, like, I'm going to be gone. I'm on vacation. You better not call me whatsoever for shit. Don't do it. Don't do it.
What? No, we had a really. I will say that next time I go on vacation, it probably will not be on a cruise. It was fun, but it was way too expensive. They upcharge you for everything. Carnival, you got the hell out of my wallet. They charge you for every little thing. To blink, you pretty much pay a fee.
So you blinking, you pay a fee.
Exactly.
For every shot you take, you pay a
day.
fee.
Yes.
For every hour of rest.
To blink. Let me tell you something. It is insane. Yes, we did the drink package, which was $370.
Additional, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
I mean, after that, my goodness, what did they charge you?
You have to pay gratuity for.
Oh yeah, that's right, gratuity for all of that.
For the drink package, you gotta pay gratuity aside from that, which is 18% of your drinks. Now that is optional; you don't have to, and I did not, because y'all don't even take no more of my money. And then second, you pay gratuity for like house cleaning and stuff. So you pay a lot of money. You upcharging the hell out of everything you have.
No bull.
No bull.
So we got a call coming through.
I think that's our guest, one of our guests. Yes, one of our guests for the day. So we have Miss Dina Blue. Are you there, Dina?
Yes.
Hi.
What it is, Dina?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for calling in, Miss Dina. Now, we're actually getting ready to start our interview, so we haven't told nobody yet who you are and what you do. All right?
Okay.
So we're going to get into that. So we have two guests today. Everyone who's tuning in, we have two guests on Out the Box Radio Show. We have our guest on the phone, which is Miss Dina Blue. And then we also have a guest coming into the studio shortly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dina, Miss Leah Johnson, or is it Leah Johnson?
I just call her Lee.
Lee, all right. Well, I'm going to call her Lee, too. Lee Johnson, who is going to be joining us at the table in just a few moments.
Actually, right now. Come on in. Oh, I lied.
She said, no, we don't do that. So in a minute, what we're going to do, Dina, is we're going to get started with
Nick about to throw a shoe at me.
With you and Lee both on the interview to talk about your company for EA Media. Before we do so, we're going to take a quick break, though, and then we're going to be joined by Lee at the table with us, okay?
Got it.
All right, so hang in there. Don't hang up. We're going to be right back after we take a quick break with Miss Dina and Lee from EA Media. Don't go anywhere, y'all.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Today's broadcast was brought to you by Vistaprint. Create powerful promotions that are easy to design and hard to miss. With Vistaprint, it's easy to customize your business cards, marketing material, corporate gifts, calendars, stationery, and more with confidence, or get real-time design help. Visit radioonfire.com/Vistaprint to get $20 off any order of $40 or more. If you have a message to get out, you want it to be affordable, but you want it to look professional. Visit radioonfire.com/Vistaprint for $20 off today.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! Welcome back, and we are joined
back.
by a special guest. Miss Leah Johnson is here to my right, and we also have Miss Dina Blue. Dina, are you still on the phone with us?
Yes.
Perfect.
Hey, look at technology working.
Well, thanks for hanging in there, Miss Blue. Now, we're actually going to get started with our interview. So, everyone who's tuning in now to Out the Box Radio Show, we have Miss Dina and we have Leah here as special guests to represent EA Media. Yes. So I would love to get started. Now, these questions that we have for you, they're not directed necessarily to either. So both of you can answer, of course. Whoever feels comfortable. If you both want to answer the question, that's fine as well. Okay? But to get started, I definitely want to know what is the background of EA Media? When did this start and how did it start?
Well, EA Media, I started it out actually as a freelance writer. I was doing a lot of like behind the scenes writing for different, magazines like Now Right,
Okay.
which is a website that's geared towards like hip hop music and things like that. And so I started doing my own like script writing.
Script writing, that's
so I
nice.
started, trying to push it out there, and a lot of the feedback I was getting back was, they liked my writing, but can I do something a little urban? And I was like, okay, well, that's
The magic word.
right?
Yeah.
Because I was black, so they assumed that a lot of things that I was writing was more like comedies, fantasies, and horror and things like that.
Right.
So, I guess they didn't believe that, someone of African American descent can write something like that. So,
Prove 'em
a lot
wrong.
of people were telling me, just go ahead and just do it yourself. And I was like, I have no idea how to go at it. And so
Right.
I started taking a class up at GATE, which is Greenbelt Public Access Channel. And
Okay.
I started, taking, classes in directing. So I directed my first short, which is kind of like a television pilot. And
Okay.
it's like an anthology, similar to like American Horror Story.
Right.
And so that's where Delusion came about. And so I started doing casting calls, and I met Dina, and Dina was saying, she's a professional voiceover artist, and she also did production, work and things like that. So we kind of like hit it off, and we, put our, heads together, and we started, kind of getting things situated.
Get the ball rolling.
Right. And so I started shifting like different other like, scripts to her, and she was reading them, and she was like, I love this. You need to go. And I was like, you sure? And she was like, yeah. So I started putting out there, casting calls for Petty Cash, which is also another television pilot.
Right.
So, I have like tons. I have like over 30 scripts that I have, that I'm trying to either do myself or have, get it produced. I'm not like heavily against selling, my script, but it's certain ones that I keep close to my chest.
Sure. And you wrote them, so absolutely.
And another thing, I was trying to get Petty Cash started, and I met with a director out in Philly, but he wanted to make it, he didn't want to have diversity in the actual script.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and I was like, well, I can't put out, I'm not saying that I can't, but I want to have diverse.
Right.
Because that's what we see.
Yeah,
You see
that's
white,
what you
see
stand
black,
for.
you see
Yeah,
Hispanic,
yeah.
That type of thing.
Definitely.
So I had like a lot of different characters like that in the script. But, he wanted to go one way and I wanted to go another. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work. So I was like, I think I should just go ahead and try to do it myself.
So but it sounds like you made the right decision in doing so,
Yeah,
because you're not going to settle for anything less than what you put your heart into.
Right, because
So.
you hate to, to start something and you have someone else take control of it, and
Right.
then it just goes to,
Right.
I don't want to, curse. But,
Well, we are very open on the show, so you can curse. You say anything
okay.
you want
I
to
didn't
say.
know,
It is not filtered.
If you want to let it fly, go ahead and let it fly.
cuss
I didn't want it to go to
sometimes.
shit, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
once again, my
Right.
name was on it and things
Right.
like that. So
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
protecting
then-
it, protecting
right.
yourself.
And then it's a lot of people, like a lot of artists that I was bringing with me, that I would want to see on the screen. So if I state, okay, I wrote this particular, character for this particular person who's an up and coming artist, I wanted them to play that role.
Right.
Now, if
Right.
they were a big major production company, then it will be different. But by you being a small production company, you have to give me some type of leeway.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm coming to the table as an Ava DuMay or
Right.
someone who has that type of caliber that can state, okay, I want this person, I want that person. But
Right.
if we're both trying to work together and come up, you can bring your people, I can bring my people, but we have to have some kind
Right.
of common ground.
Right. Unified. Yep.
So Dina is actually working with me to help me get some funding for the project.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask next, was about Dina, who's on the phone with us right now. You mentioned she's a voiceover artist. So Dina, well, shout out to you for that, because we actually had our first voiceover artist on our show, I want to say about a month ago. It was our Christmas special. And we interviewed her, and we learned a lot about the industry of being a voiceover artist. It's not as easy as it seems. And I'm sure you can attest to that as well, Miss Blue. But tell us a little bit about your involvement with EA Media and with Miss Johnson as well.
Once I met her and we started discussing film, I realized that she had an extensive film background like myself. Initially, I applied for the casting call.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For Delusion. That's how I met her. And throughout that process, we just hit it off, and I asked her if she needed any help, and she was like, sure. So we've been working together since.
That's all the power of networking. The power of networking. Let me tell you, that's very important, especially in the entertainment industry. You have to be open and willing to network. Yeah. And you never know where the ball will roll. I mean, you never know what direction you're going. As you mentioned, you applied for a casting call, and then look what came out of it.
Yeah,
you know?
Now you're working directly.
She got one of the leads. She's one of the lead characters.
Oh, you better go ahead, Miss Dina Blue. Got you a lead role. Woo!
Everyone that kind of like auditioned for that particular part, you know, I was looking at her particular reel that she sent to me, and she kind of killed it. And I asked her, I was like, "Can you do a Jamaican voice?" And she did it just off the break because she's
I'm about to ask her.
because she's a voiceover artist. So by us, you know, talking, you know, on a regular and you know. Working together, I kind of see like the struggle that she goes through as a voiceover artist. I didn't realize it was so intense.
Right.
You know what I mean? You hear about actors and musicians and stuff, but her, like, by her being a voiceover artist, is so intense. Like, she would have to take time to rest her voice. I didn't realize that she has to drink tea and do certain things to get her voice ready, because she would start like reading scripts all day, and sometimes she may have to do a turnaround like the same day or 2 days, and she has to get into that character. And I was like, I didn't realize how intense it was.
I just learned that from
and just like you know, directing, I didn't realize how intense it was until I started directing.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, like holding the boom mic, you know, listening to sound. If the air condition comes on, you gotta like cut, because you can hear everything.
Every little thing will set something off.
And it's so funny because as I started learning, you know, directing, I started seeing movies from in a different way.
Views,
And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that shot that way.
Right. It all starts to come clear.
I think that's a natural instinct as someone in the industry as well. Like, you start looking at all of the art in a different way, and you start interpreting it of like, okay, so if I was behind, you know, this film, or if I was at the helm, how would I shoot this differently? How would I do that differently?
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, Miss Dina, but this is Out the Box Radio Show, and that's kind of what we do. If you're comfortable, I would love for you to throw an accent. It could be Jamaican, absolutely. I just went to Jamaica last week, Ocho Rios. But it doesn't have to be Jamaican. Anything you want. I would love to hear a voice. Give us a line from something that you've done before, if you can think of one off the top of your head, in a good accent. I know it's on the spot.
Sorry, Dina.
Miss Johnson, put it out there for us. But I would love to hear something.
Let's see. I'm so exhausted, but Dina, come in the room. Let me tell you something. We want to tell you what you want to know.
Yep, that was accurate. That was accurate.
That was good. For a minute, I thought someone else was called in. I said, "Hold up now."
You sound very similar to my my good family friend, Miss Jennifer. That's what you sound like, and she is Jamaican.
Oh, but that would be like someone in my family, you know, asking me to come here and let me tell them something. But yeah. I don't know. I'm thankful it's a gift that I have, but you know, just thankful to be able to use it more.
Well, how long have you been a voiceover artist for? Just out of curiosity.
I actually started professionally about, I would say, 10 years ago, and I started with the company in North Carolina, and I got the job mainly because most people couldn't do animal voices or high animation. So that's how I got it. But I always wanted to do voices. So, you know, it was just a blessing in disguise.
You follow your dream. That's good. Yeah. And not many people are successful when they try to follow, they take a risk, you know, and it's sometimes harder than they think. So kudos to you. Shout out to you for keeping at it for that long, which is amazing. And doing a great job. You got me. I liked it. I loved it.
And for keeping yourself very trained at what you do.
Right.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot of, you know, a lot of courage and dedication to do that. So let me ask both of you guys this: how does EA Media separate itself from other production companies, whether that's, you know, local or independent, or even the big ones like, you know, Paramount or A24 or something like that?
Well, the thing about it is, I try to keep blinders on. I don't look at other production companies. So when you start to like compare yourself to other production companies or look at other production companies, then you kind of start to mimic certain things.
Okay.
And I mean, you have a lot of production companies that have directors, as far as like women, have women writers. You have like different, a diverse group of people working with.
Right.
The actual artist, and I think there's a lot of, you know, similarities in production, because nowadays everything is so open. You can learn about everything on the internet. So I think for us, we try to pretty much just bring out stories and you know, short films and things that people can relate to or people will enjoy watching, or something that you can look at and like 10 years later you were like, oh, I remember that. You know, like if you look at different shows, you can say, oh, I remember that. I can remember like In Living Color, or I can remember, you know, Martin, or I can remember, you know, certain shows. It just even
it left
like
an impression.
yeah, like if you turn on like old television stations now and you remember, like, you know, you can watch, you know, I Love Lucy. Even though
I was just getting ready to say that.
Even though that's not in your
that was
era,
my
because,
favorite show for
you know,
a long
you
time.
may not have been born back then, or you know, but you can look at it and say like that was funny. You know what I mean? And so that's what we try to do. We don't try to bring out like gimmick, you know, television shows and things like that, or something that's just going to be appealing for the time being. We want something that's going to have like, you know, longevity.
Right.
And something that people will enjoy watching. You know, some people like, you know, get their wine and want to sit back and watch it and kind of, you know, do, you know, little movie night or television day or things like that.
I do wine while I watch Housewives of Atlanta, but that's not the same thing. But I do that every Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yes. So I mean, that's just, you know, when I, you know, try to write and try to create, I don't try to write and create and say, oh, this is going to be a hit. Because a lot of times I don't know whether someone's going to like it or not. I just write it. And then I would have, you know, I circle people, I would have them read it, and they was like, okay, I like this. And I'm like, you sure? Because I'm always second guessing. Right. Dina would say, no, this is good. You know what I mean? And she would be honest, and she'll, you know, she'll tell me whether she likes it or she doesn't. And when she says that this is going to be fire, then I'm like, you sure? Well, what do you think that's different about? You know, I started like digging into it.
Start looking for the lean-ins.
Right. I'm not one of those people like if I bring out something like, oh, this is gonna be hot, like everybody gonna love this. Like, you know, that's just not me. Right. You know what I mean? I just kind of second guess and be like, let me see. This seems kind of corny to me. You know what I mean?
But I think that's natural though for people, especially if it's your own craft, your own product. It's normal.
And so,
I like to add that we are very experienced and well-rounded. We're not just like directors or just producers or executive producers or actors or voiceover. Lee is extremely talented. Her work, her script are scripts of quality. You don't find that in a lot. It's who you know and who has the money. You don't find a lot of quality work out there. And we also always try to be realistic and include diversity. And you don't see that a lot. It's like demanded now, but that's just a natural part of her writing, and that's just a natural part of the production. We have some extremely talented actors, extremely talented people that should be up on the screen now. That, you know, that's not. So that's where we differ from other production companies. We might not be as large, but we are damn sure just as good, if not better, than most people that are out there. And I'm not a person that brags a lot or talks a lot about what I'm doing, but I know good work when I see it. That's why I chose to come on board with her.
Good.
Thank you. And I do want to give a shout out to a lot of our actors that we have on board with Delusion. I have one gentleman, he travels from New Jersey to DC, and that's how much he believed in the project. And we have a lot of people that travel from Baltimore, you know, traveling from, you know, Southern Maryland and things like that, and that makes me feel good. It makes me know that what I'm bringing to the table, people believe in. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't travel. Far, you know, and anytime they, you know, I would call them and say, hey, I need you. They'd be like, when do you need me? You know what I mean? Just let me know. So they believe in the actual craft of it. And so this is why we're kind of working so hard to try to get funding, because this is something that we can bring back to, you know, the DMV. You know what I mean? And kind of like start it from here. And kind of like, you know, pull other people in. Because there's a lot of talented people here. And the thing about it is
so much
that I hate is that a lot of other artists from other places and other states will come here, steal the creativity, and then go
Run
out
off with
and,
it.
you know, run with it. You know, they do it with the go-go, they do it with the music, they do it with our art, they do it with our dance, you know, just anything.
Yeah.
And so they will come here, steal the idea, and then take it and blow up. And then DC is kind of like, okay,
No
hey,
recognition.
Yeah, where's our props for this?
Right, where are we? You know,
Acknowledgement, no nothing.
I mean, look at how many people have came here and kind of like have stolen like the idea of like, you know, go and put it in their music,
Right.
but they never came back and
Absolutely.
gave
Absolutely.
the actual true people who actually did it, you know,
Right.
the actual
The
props.
credit, yeah.
So
you talked a little bit about Delusion and Petty Cash. Give the viewers a background of those productions and what's the synopsis, if you will. What's the background of each production?
Delusion is an anthology, and it's based around a fictitious character. He's like a kind of like an apparition. He's an apparition, and so many people have seen him in this small town. A lot of people have seen him. Only certain people he come in contact with can actually like speak to him, and so it's a weird thing because the town is really trying to kind of push this whole this is not true, you know, gimmick on everyone, but it's certain people in this particular town, they're stating like, no, we've seen this apparition, this is what's happening, this is the reason why a lot of things are occurring. So what I've done is I have taken this apparition and I have dropped them into different scenes, and so this anthology will be based around, we're going to have different characters based upon their interaction with him.
Okay.
So Delusion, it starts out with a young gentleman named Jonathan, and he's in a mental institute, and Dina plays his mom. And so he comes into you know, connection with the apparition. The apparition in the past have, you know, destroyed a lot of people's lives, have killed them and things like that. And so the hospital knows exactly what's going on, but they're kind of trying to keep it hush-hush because they're in cahoots with a lot of the politicians. And the politicians were stating, because of this fairy tale that's going on, we lost a lot of money in this town.
Oh, so I'm trying to keep it hidden.
So they're trying to keep it hidden. They're trying to push it down. They're trying to, you know, make it seem like there's nothing going on. But there's a lot of people that are saying, no, I've seen this. This is what's going on.
Right.
So, and then he also comes in contact with some high school students. So the high school students are trying to figure out. So it's like different scenes, like high school students trying to figure out what's going on. Then you have this news reporter who's also knows what's going on. So he's trying to piece everything together. And he's working with another, he's working with a college student. And so the college student is going to the hospital, and then, you know, you have, you know, the high school students who's the mother of one of, the mother is the actual doctor to Jonathan. So she doesn't know what's going on, but her daughter has already came in contact with this apparition, but she never told her mom. So her mom, so the daughter doesn't know that the mom is treating the young guy named Jonathan, who in the past, the apparition had actually killed his brother. So that's when Dina comes in, and she's playing this, she's an au pair to one of the mayors of the town, and so he knows what's going on. And she's Jamaican, so she's like, okay, I can get a sense, you know, Jamaicans are very spiritual people. So it's like everyone is coming into contact with each other, and they're kind of like passing. And they're trying to piece this, you know, piece all of this that's going on together, because everyone is not clear of what's going on, but they know something's not right with this town.
And as the series or the season goes on, all of the stories are
all
interwoven.
the stories are intertwined with each other, and you have the students that's trying to figure things out, and then you have some people that's trying to keep it hush, and you have the news reporter that's running around like, okay, let me figure out what's going on, because he's appearing again. And he's never been around before, and when he was around, then he disappeared, and now he's back again, so we're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's kind of like, they were like, is it a town? Is it something that's going on? Or is it, you know, some evil, you know, spirit that's happening?
Sounds like
it's an underlining, like, it's like different layers to it, because he's in and out of the scenes, but he's coming in contact with different people, and it's kind of like a horror, you know, kind of like this
It's
this bone chilling horror.
It reminds me of something. As you're reading, I'm like thinking Stephen King in my mind. I don't know why, but I'm thinking Stephen King.
Is one of my favorites.
I love Stephen King. I love.
And it's
him.
so funny because Halloween is like one of my favorite movies of all
Oh
time.
yes,
So-
classic.
Yeah, Halloween.
I didn't see the last one that came out though. Was it
Oh,
good?
the brand new one?
Is that good?
I didn't catch the
I
brand new
didn't
one.
see it. It's not good. Someone said it's not good in the studio. So
No, I actually
I'll
heard,
take your word for
and
it.
I actually heard from a few people that the brand new one, the one who just recently came out, was actually pretty scary. The ones before that, nah, I don't mess with.
No.
Well, the very first one and the second one, those are classic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
those
the
are classic.
1979 John.
Yes.
Those are classic.
Yes. Scream
Those are
Queen,
classic. Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yes.
Jamie Lee Wright.
That's what made me want to write horror movies. And
Right.
then after that, that's when I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one.
The only good one.
Yeah.
The only good
Put
one.
it out there.
I'm a young cat and I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, we always have like debates with other people like about Friday the 13th, like who's scarier, Jason or Michael
Right.
Myers. I'm
That's
like,
a good
Michael Myers
topic.
can kick Jason's ass
Yeah, I think
any day.
so. I think so.
Jason is scared of water. All you gotta do is throw water on him. He like
Right.
freezes up. Michael Myers is not scared of shit.
Right.
He's just, you know, he done walked through fire.
He done been
set him on
through.
fire,
He done been
shot.
through everything.
You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting? Y'all remember the crossover movie Freddy versus Jason?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm wondering
Oh,
why
gosh.
Michael Myers didn't get his own like.
No, because
Right.
it would have been no comparison. It would
Right.
have been no comparison. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I got into it. It was
Right.
so kind of crazy because my mom was the first one who had taken me to go see this, this Halloween, and I think I was probably like
I was
7
gonna say,
or
how
something.
old were you? Ooh, 7
I
years
was
old.
7, and
Ooh,
my mom took me,
traumatizing.
and I was like, oh my god, like it already came out because it came out way before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
But then they was playing, you know how they have it at the little, back then they had like, you know, the little theaters. We was in the military, so they were playing
okay.
like reruns of
Yeah,
movies. Always.
yeah.
And so she had taken me to see it. And then when I went to go see it, and I was like, what the hell is she taking me?
Right.
And I was scared.
I'm
I was
telling
so
you, that would be
scared. But
traumatizing.
then I was like, I just kept thinking about it. I was like, well, what if he did this and what if he did that? You know what I mean? So I just started falling in love with like a lot of horror movies.
Right.
And then my mom was like, well, you need to watch Rosemary's Babies. And when I watched Rosemary's Babies, I was like, this movie is stupid. And she was like, no, it's not. It's a classic. And I was like, no, it's not. Because I'm used to sleepaway camp. I'm used to, you know, Halloween. I'm used to Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm used to like, you know, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Those types of
It's on a
movies.
different level. Yeah.
Right. It was a
Yeah.
different level. You know what I mean? And so now it's more the movies to me personally. I think the horror movies they bring out now is more about gore
Yeah.
than about
Yeah.
substance.
Mhm.
So they want to see like how much guts they can pull out,
Right.
or how much blood they can put on the
Right.
scene. With me, I'm like, how can I get into your psyche
Right.
and really kind of like give you that,
Right.
you know, because you think about it, Halloween and Friday the 13th, they got into your psyche. Your Nightmare on Elm Street, they got into your psyche.
Right.
I mean, how many people
Into your
did
dreams.
not right? How many people did not want to go to sleep after they
Right.
saw that? You know what I
Right.
mean? The bathtub scene, you know, that type of thing. How many people did not want to go trick or treating after seeing?
I
you know?
had nightmares. I remember.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that's where I was going with a lot of it. You know, with the anthology of I want to get into the psyche.
Right.
How teenagers view this apparition versus an adult
Right,
versus
which would be
people who don't
different.
believe.
Right.
Because you're getting into different, because your scene, you might have, like, let's say if you're in a scene and you're around a group of people and you're like, oh my God, we seen this apparition. You know what I mean? That this person, no, it's not. No, we gotta Google it. We gotta do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we might go off on our little research
Right,
thing.
research, and then you have like adults are like, don't mess with that.
Think differently. Yeah.
Don't mess with that.
Yeah.
That's that's dangerous. That's like Dina's world. Like don't mess
Right.
with that. Like that's dangerous. You don't know what you're getting into. Then you have those people who think they're like highly intelligent and they're more intelligent and they don't believe in anything like spiritual. So they're kind of like,
Yep.
that's not real.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are really So you have like different views of different things that's going on and how it's affecting everyone, and everyone is coming in like pretty much crashing into each other's world.
Right.
So that's pretty much what this actual
Sounds
anthology
intense.
is about. Yeah,
It sounds
intense.
very intense.
It's a thriller.
It's
Yeah.
a thriller.
And the gentleman Rob who travels from New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
he actually does the voice.
Oh wow,
He
okay.
actually does the voice. He actually, I wish I had him on the phone today. He actually does the voice, and he like kills it when he does the voice. So
Well, I can't wait to
Yeah.
see.
and so Petty Cash is a comedy.
Okay. It's a whole
like
separate genre, right?
Yeah, it's a whole separate genre. It's pretty much like let me see, what can I compare it to? Like Park and Recreation, but, you know, with a mixture of The Office.
So there's a lot of wit comedy, like right on my alley. You know, I love me some
It's
comedy.
very sharp.
Yes.
You know, I love me some
Yes.
comedy.
Yes.
Is it all about timing too? And
Yes, it's all about timing, and sometimes it's not even saying anything. It's just doing,
Right.
just
The
acting,
actions.
You know,
Ugh.
and sometimes it's not
Love
about what you say; is how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned that by watching a lot of the old comics when they go onto screen, like Eddie Murphy and things like that. If you think about it, and even Kevin Hart, if you think about it, and David Chappelle, like it's not what they say, sometimes it's how they say
Right.
it to make
Right.
it funny.
It's the presentation.
Right. And so that's what I kind of try to bring to it. And you
Okay.
know, so I put it out there. I had a couple of people read it, and they loved it, and so they were like, okay, you have to get this
Oh
on. So,
well. It's another one right there, another production, another
Yeah.
hit right there. Now, shout out really quick to Eddie Murphy, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but they are currently casting for
Yes.
Coming
Coming
to
to
America
America,
too.
yes.
They are
Yes.
doing it. They are doing it.
I cannot wait.
I
Going
told a
back
few
to
people.
Zamunda.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Back to some.
I read that email. I said,
I can't wait.
yes, that's good though.
So Dina, are you still there?
Yes.
Thank you for hanging with us. I actually have a question for you, but you can also jump in as well. As a creator, as a artist, as a voiceover person, an actor, writer, however you guys like to, delve into this business, what continues to motivate you? You know, what is that driving factor that makes you keep creating?
The ideas that I come up with, story ideas. That's what motivates me, and knowing that one day we will get this on the big screen,
Right.
knowing that it would catch the eye and the ear of a potential,
Right.
funder
Right.
or production company or that right person, and they were like, okay, this needs to be seen.
Perfect.
You
Right.
know, 'cause
That's a good motivation.
Regardless of what, I still continue to write.
Right.
I still continue to create
Right.
different.
And you never want to
stories.
slow down, because
No,
you never
'cause
know when
once
that pace will
you'll
pick up.
lose it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't want
Yeah.
to lose that touch. So Dina, what would you say? What would you say continues to motivate you?
There are several things. I think really great quality scripts. Lee has some excellent work out there. I mean, she's a hell of a writer. But also what motivates me is to see other people's reaction once you perform and you produce something.
Right.
It's just a good feeling if you can make someone laugh, or if you can make someone stop and think, or say, wow, I really felt that. So that's what motivates me. Good work, good quality work, good performance, and at the end of the day, it's to make people feel.
Right.
They may be filled with laughter, they may be filled with sadness, but you're touching someone.
It's all emotion.
So that-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off what Dina was basically stating, when you're talking about your own work, but then you also look at other people's work. When I look at other people's work, like I was saying, Ava DuMay and
Right.
Tyler Perry and all these other people who look like me, and they're creating things,
Right.
and Jordan, oh my God, just
Jordan
Peele.
Peele. Yeah.
When he's creating, different things, and they look like me, and they're bringing things to the forefront, it gives me motivation. It's like, you know what? It's not like a competitive, but it's more like,
Right.
let me just jump on the ball and try to, you know what I mean?
It gives you the okay
Oh, it gives
to do
you the
what you're
okay,
doing.
right? And then also it just gives me the more motivation to keep going and
Right.
start keep creating, because you never know when you might run into someone and say, hey, I can do this,
Right.
like
Or someone would run into you and ask, hey, what you working on?
here's
Here's the portfolio.
What
Right.
you want to see first? I
Right.
got several.
I mean, I have a lot of different things. I
Right.
have like, movies. I have comedy movies. I have television. I have like, it's just all across drama, thriller.
Okay.
I just don't have urban, and everyone keeps asking me for urban, and I
Right.
don't, and not like I can't write it, but that's just not where my mind.
Right, no, absolutely. And you have to follow where you're going. If you're on a
Yeah,
path, you don't
follow
want to
my
veer
heart,
off of
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And
And it might
it's not
come,
like
it
I
might
can't
come.
write it,
Right.
but it's just that's just, I'm always, I like Goodfellas.
Yeah, fellas.
You know, Scarface,
Right,
Halloween,
right.
you know, that type, just different, 300. I love that movie,
Yep.
300. You know what I mean? And, I have a fantasy that I let Dina read. And it's like, a mixture. It's similar to, I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. The HBO show that's coming out. Winter is Coming.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And she read it, and
Right.
that's the one I said I can't sell because that one's I want to keep.
That one
to
keeps
myself.
close to your heart, right?
Because she was saying this one is fire, and you shouldn't let it out. So
Keep it in then.
I mean,
I'm gonna
that's
take
just-
Dina's word for it. It's fire. It's fire.
Is it fire, Dina? Is it that fire? You don't have to spill everything because we got to keep it in the safe. But how fire is that that fantasy Game of Thrones like type of show that
It's
she's
the
writing?
Shadow of Dawn's that script I gave.
All of her work is excellent. It's quality and it's high quality work. She just, I think she knows that she's a good writer, but she does not know that she's an excellent writer.
You got cheesing over here, Miss Dina.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a favorite one of her projects that you jumped on and worked on, whether that's as a producer or as a performer?
Some of the works that she's not producing now, some of the drama, the film scripts that she's written, but I really. I like both Delusion and Petty Cash. They're like total contrast of each other. Petty Cash is going to be hilarious. Delusion, I like that because it's deep. It's just not like top
Edge of your
layer
seat, right.
horror. It gets deep. So that's what I like about it.
So with filming though, either or any project, but if you focus on Delusion or Petty Cash, when it comes to filming, because are you already finished, wrapped up both, or one or the other, or both?
I started filming Delusion.
Okay.
We did like scenes of Delusion.
Right.
We're looking for funding to finish it up because
Okay.
we started out like a 10-minute short.
Right.
And so we want to film the entire pilot.
Sure. Right.
And so we want to do the first episode. And I've already have like different, like the first and the second episode written. But we're looking for funding to kind of like film it because we have like different locations and
Right.
different costumes, makeup, and things like
Okay.
that. So with a horror, you want to have like a certain type of look and feel
Right.
and things like that. Not saying you can't do that with limited funding or no funding,
Right.
but I wanted to look a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
order to get that feel to it.
Right.
With the comedy, we're still looking for funding with that, but
Right.
it's still easier to film
Yeah.
when you're doing a
The
comedy.
look and feel is much
versus
different.
when you're doing
Right.
like a horror or
Right.
a drama.
There's more
Especially
effects.
with something with a supernatural feel,
Right,
and
with the
apparition and everything.
right, and it's not like it's gonna have like special effects, but it's just that it's certain things that I need to like certain like room, certain room. We like
Right.
when we shot the 10-minute version. I used I went to Gate and I used their room and I also used the Greenback Community Center because in a certain hallway it looks like a hospital.
Oh, okay.
So that's what
That
I mean. So
effect.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking
That effect,
for because
right.
it has like the doors and it look kind of like hollow,
Right.
and kinda
Long
like,
hallway.
right, and it just looks so weird. And someone else told me that it used to be an old school. You might could hear like crazy things. going on.
Right.
I was like, really? I was
Perfect.
Like, perfect.
We on it.
I was like, oh, point me in the
Let's go.
direction.
Right.
To go.
She not
And they
even
was
worried.
like, are you sure you want to go? And I was like, yes, let's go.
Right. No
And so-
hesitation. No hesitation.
Right, and so in certain rooms, the room that we shot the first part in, it looks like a hospital room.
Right.
But it was actual like a setup. It was like a community room, but it looked like a
Ah,
hospital
okay.
room. So when I shot it, the way I shot it, you couldn't tell that it was a
Right.
community room.
Good.
And then
That's
I had
good.
everyone in their nurses uniforms
Right.
and things like that. So
You have that creative vision, which is important, which is good.
So, you know, I wanted to look a certain way. I just don't want it to put anything out. You know what I mean? And especially when you're trying to attract people to the project.
Yeah. So when it comes to filming, what you've filmed so far, do you have any favorite like behind the scene moments that have happened? We love to talk about behind the scenes here.
Yeah, we have a lot of behind the scenes moments. You know, Dina would get so into her character. Like one time she got really into her character that one of the actors after we cut, one of the actresses, she was like, "Are you crying?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm in the moment."
Right.
And so I was like, "Oh, that is perfect." Like she just like came, you know, she was just so into it. And then, you know, we had like Rob, who also does the voice.
Oh God, his voice is excellent.
His voice is excellent. He gets so intense. He gets so into it that sometimes one time he got so into it that he got into characters. He had to get into that dark mode because he was the villain.
Right.
So he had to get the voice together.
Yeah.
Then he had to get like into character to scare the other actor, without doing anything, but just sitting there, just talking.
Okay.
And he got so intense to it that I had to keep telling him, wait a minute, wait. That's not the line yet. That's not the line yet. And then he was like, oh, because he got so into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's different when you're trying to do just regular drama or you're doing regular comedy. But when you're doing something that's intense, when you have to kind of like get into character,
right?
When you're going to another person, getting into another character where you have to get into that mind state, it kind of, you know, sometimes you kind of fub over lines or you're kind of, you know, but it wasn't intentional because he knew his lines off the break, but it was just that he got into character.
Right.
That it
sometimes
was
it's hard to break
it was
out
hard
of it.
to break out of
when you're in it.
And we were like, okay,
we
gotta cut it.
At that point, you're no longer acting. You are that character. You're just being. And that's where you want to be. Right. However, you gotta have that string where you're like, all right, I know I can pull this and come back to reality.
And sometimes I had to jump behind the camera like,
like, you know, waving around like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well, before we actually wrap up, because we have just a few more moments here, I do want to ask, when it comes to casting, how can people, for one, what are you looking for one, but also, like, what type of talent are you looking for? How can people reach out to you in regards to casting?
Sure, they can reach out to me at eamedialive@gmail.com.
eamedialive, Live, at gmail.com. Okay.
Yes.
And are you still casting for Petty Cash and Delusion?
Casting. We're always casting. Like I have a script called Diamonds that I'm kind of, you know, it's a family script. And it's like a family drama that I'm trying to bring to television as well. So we're casting for that, all adults. You know, I stay away from nudity. I don't get into the whole nudity thing. And we're always looking for talent because we're always pulling different people and things like that. And as I was stating, when we're doing television, you know, the television shows and stuff like that, we're always pulling in different talents from different places and things like that. So yes, anyone can send over, but make sure when you do your casting, because this is the issue that we were having with a lot of people. Try to send over either a reel, or if you don't have a professional reel, try to just videotape yourself and just send a video to us, because if you send us a picture, we're not going to be able to know what you can do. Right. You know what I mean? And sometimes we may need to know what you can do on the fly.
So you want them to kind of have a monologue pretty much prepared of some sort.
Some type of monologue. It can just be anything. Right. You know what I mean? And I would, personally, I would say have a monologue if you're comfortable with doing comedy and drama. Do both, but make sure it's short. Right. Both monologues should not be no more than like 30 seconds. Exactly. Or the whole monologue altogether should be like a minute.
A minute. Right.
Right.
Okay.
And when you send over your photos, make sure you send your sizes, your age. You know, if you never act before, let us know that. but still have some type of, you know, resume put together.
Sure, right.
In the body, either in the body of the email or, you know, on a Word document. Just
Sure.
put your name,
Especially for formality,
you know,
like,
contact
yeah.
information, how far you're willing to travel, that type of thing. Because we
Okay.
take that into consideration.
Right.
Because we're not going to have people just travel all over. It's just that we lucked up with Rob, and he was just like, I don't care, I'm coming.
Right.
Because he came all the way down here for the audition, and I was like, dude, you live in New
You
Jersey.
drive
I
a little
don't know.
far.
And he
Right.
was like, I don't care. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah.
That's passion. He's passionate about it.
That's the word.
Yeah. So,
Well, before we do go out, Dina, let's have actually both of you give social media. If you have one for EA Media and personal accounts, let's give those out. Dina, if we want to start with you, give out your.
Yes, hit both of us up on Instagram. My IG is DENA.BLEU.
DENA.BLEU for those. If you couldn't understand it, that's what it is. Dina.blue.
Dina.blue with the EU, not
Yeah.
UE. EU.
And
Yes.
also, the castings are, I list them on there also.
Okay.
and we check out a lot of casting on. Dina usually puts up the casting, and she goes to, what is it, Backstage?
Backstage.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
What are the other ones?
And the state film sites, the state of Maryland film site,
Okay.
casting calls under that section also.
Okay.
And some of the local casting. So, I mean, it's several ways to reach us. So.
Right.
Oh, and then there's another email that people can reach us as well. It's EA Casting Call. It's EA Casting, CASTING Call, CALL at gmail.com.
At Gmail. Okay.
And that's
Right,
another
at
one.
gmail.com.
Yes.
And then do you also have social media as well, Ms.
I
Johnson?
have
Okay.
Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
And both are the same as EA Media Live.
EA Media Live.
Yes.
Okay. So people, you heard it just now. You've seen it. You heard it. Make sure you reach out to Miss Blue and Miss Johnson both about casting for future upcoming productions that are ongoing, and I can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
We may be sliding through the email ourselves.
Yes,
Just
please do.
saying, because we
Please
do have experience.
Yes, we do.
Also, we're always looking for like people like camera operators and things
Right.
like that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when I'm doing a shoot, I will have like either like two cameras set up.
Absolutely.
So I'll
right.
have to
Different
run in
angles.
between,
Right.
or have another
Oh yeah, those
person
with
that-
behind the scenes work, you know, boom operators, camera
Boom
operators. You
operators,
do,
yeah.
y'all get jobs too, all right?
Yep.
Y'all get
Yep.
jobs too.
Everybody.
everybody.
All right.
You know.
Well, I definitely want to say thank you to yourself for coming here,
Thank
as well
you
as
for
Dina.
inviting me.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
On the
excited.
phone. Yes, thank you both for joining us from EA Media. Again, Dina Blue and Miss Leah Johnson. Okay. Again, thank you for tuning into Out the Box Radio Show. We had a wonderful interview with you. Learned a lot about EA Media, upcoming projects, Delusion and Petty Cash, plus more
Yes.
under the belt. And we are definitely going to be tuning in, and tune in next week, Out the Box Radio Show as well, for another special interview starting at 7 p.m. right here on RadioOnFire.com. Thank you all
Thank
for tuning
you.
in.
Thank y'all.
Thanks,
for tuning in.
Dina.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Good.